Welcome. Oh,
Good
I'm looking
evening.
significantly lower than you, aren't I?
Yeah.
Zzz. Oh, still not.
No.
Zoop. Still
There you
not.
go. No. Get
Zzz.
closer. There you
There,
go.
that'll do. I
Yeah.
just don't want
I'll
that
go. I'll
extreme
go.
power imbalance.
Yeah. We gotta like put up, some, of the facade of equality.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It is just a facade. Oh, a couple of hellos already. G'day, Jefferson, and not g'day, Gildy. Get back in your box. I'm sick of you. Yeah, I've already
Keep
seen him
coming
this
back.
morning. Yeah, I know. I've already seen him this morning. Enough's enough. Yeah. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing great. Like I was saying earlier to you off air, we had a 1-day tournament here in Hamilton yesterday at Black Knight Games.
Mm.
Is the Clash of Claws, the first Clash of Kings 2022 tournament. We all got our rules in just in time. Easy Army updated like a week and a half ago, so everyone was like scrambling.
Oh, right. So you did use it. That's great. Oh,
Yeah,
there's our. We were just wondering about Jeremy. He hadn't seen the thread, so
yeah,
yeah. We were like, oh, well, you were like, oh, I remember he's in Texas.
yeah. Jeremy's at Living Legends this weekend,
Mm.
competing with Todd
Hmm.
as a team. I'm not sure they're doing pretty well going into today. I'm not sure how that panned out for them.
Mm.
It's probably been pretty busy weekend for him.
He sent it. Oh, here we go. Here
Oh,
we go.
oh, he's here.
Hello,
Here
guys.
he is. Hey, man. We didn't
Hey.
think you'd be on.
Yeah, well, I just came on. I'm in Texas for Living Legends. I just
Yep.
want to come and say hi to you guys. Say hi to everyone.
We miss you.
I miss you too. No, you I'm done with, Mr. Multiple Bays. I'm the only bay.
Hey. Sometimes people like Steve Foster need a bone thrown in them. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You'll always be my number one bay.
Steve's just
Awesome.
your side piece.
Yeah. Everyone needs a little bit of action on the side. Yeah.
Awesome.
How'd you go?
He's your-
Are you finished? You need to tell us where you came.
Oh man. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, except
Yeah.
for having a good time. So
Yeah.
it was a great event, but man, it just was like, oh man, we got
So day
smoked.
2 not so good.
Yeah. But super fun event. As always, man. Texas is great. How did your event go, Alex?
It went really well. We had 13 guys, which is I think a new record for our 1 days. Usually we have like 10 or 12 on the bigger ones. So, and
Cool.
we could say 14 because Steve brought his 11-year-old son Paul, who I think will be participating.
Oh, did he cry at all or no?
No, he didn't cry at all. He
okay.
rolled all of Steve's dice, and like all of Steve's opponents were like, I don't want Paul to ever come back because Paul apparently is excellent at rolling dice. And then, but he was kind of doing co-piloting with Steve all weekend, but he's going to be a full participant probably in our next 1 day. And then we did a ringer by committee. So one of us played 2 games at once each round to fill in the 14th
Oh, wow.
spot.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that.
So I
What
played
was
2
the
games.
Ringer Army?
It was a Varangur army. So it's kind of like it's built for speed play. It was pretty straightforward, just like run forward and smash things. So yeah, I played 2 games round 1, and then
I could hear you guys now.
Steve played 2 games round 2, and then Jesse played 2 games round 3.
Yep.
So we just had them set up side by side. So you're just kind of running back and forth, playing each game. So
I like that Christmas tree setup, Jeremy.
Oh yeah,
So-
I'm in my
Good
mom's
morning, Dan.
house. And
Yep.
Yeah. So it was pretty fun. Definitely, I took undead because Todd wanted to take orcs. So I took werewolves, still super overcosted.
yeah.
And yeah,
Who's that?
I rolled.
I can just see an
who's-
arm.
This is my lovely wife.
Oh, hey, Hillary.
Okay, we're gonna do Christmas now. I love you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Matt, I'll forgive
You
you.
too, mate.
I'll forgive you at some point.
So much.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even do the heart properly today. Where's
I wish
my
I was as
camera?
cool as Alex.
Mm.
I
You
wanna
are.
be-
Yeah.
Did you
You
see
gotta look
Croger?
deep
Did you
inside.
see the countercharge party bus meme?
Yes, I did.
Did you see that?
Yeah. That was
That's.
good.
I think that is hands down so far my favorite page meme.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
It's
pretty
just-
great. I had to share it.
It's just
He made one for Eamon, the resin dealer, as well, from
yeah.
Eamon
Mhm. I saw
Targaryen.
that one.
I had to
Mhm.
share that in
Yeah.
our group.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Awesome. Yep.
Oh, Rob is in
All
the
right. Well,
Oh,
we
car.
got
Rob's
no
in
Christmas,
the
and
car.
Rob's
Dude,
here.
Rob's
and-
in the car. I'm calling in from Texas.
Let's
It's
turn my
crazy.
camera off.
Crazy.
Okay.
stuff. Okay, fellas, I'll see you
Can
guys
you guys
later.
hear me?
Have a good
See ya.
night, Jeremy. Yeah, we can hear you,
Yeah,
Rob.
we can hear you.
You can hear a little bit. I'm a little choppy. I think the bandwidth in Arkansas is a little rough.
Okay. All right. So Alex was filling us in on his one-day event.
Yeah, so to no one's surprise, John McCready won again.
What was he running?
He was running a Keith Conroy
I'm
style
Rob.
herd list.
Guys, I'm not.
Okay.
Hey, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Better. Can you hear me,
Okay.
Alex?
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
it was kind of like Keith Conroy's Masters list,
Mhm.
but for 1995. So he swapped in Avatar of the Father for a Beast of Nature and
Right.
dropped.
Okay.
So it was like Spirit Walkers, 2 Lycan Hordes, 2 Beasts of Nature, Avatar of the Father, and then the new Chieftain with Dread Aura and Wings. It was just all speed and punch.
Yeah.
It was
So more than one person can win with herd.
It's true. And it's funny because John started with herd way back when we went to our first 2-day tournament, Crossroads GT, and he that didn't go as well for him. So he's come back to it, and we ended up playing on table 1 for round 3, and he dismantled my Rordia. It was a really bad map and it was Salt the Earth, which it was a good game in a lot of ways because I haven't had a game like that where I've thought about afterwards. Like I thought about it as much after. So it was
So
good.
what I'm hearing from that is that we should stop saying that Keith Conroy is a really good player and that it was all the
Absolutely.
player and not Okay.
It's just the list. It's just the
yeah,
list.
the list does the heavy lifting.
I
All
think
right.
one of the guys on the herd forum just said, "Oh, it's just nimble spam. It's not really. It's just it's not a real herd list." And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's a really tough one to. And if on the right map, we have fairly large terrain pieces, and I think some of them after this last tournament, we're gonna scale some of the very large pieces down because we have a couple blocking pieces that were aesthetically pleasing, but gameplay wise were just too large, and that definitely
In terms of it didn't lay out enough infantry movement. Oh,
yeah. Well,
look at this. Look at this.
Oh, good evening,
Greetings from the
Mr.
man.
Renton.
Hello, Ronaldo. I love you.
Sir. Thank you.
Come visit me again. We've got whiskey with your name on it.
Some of the pieces were just so large that they would like block off large pieces of the large areas of the board, and an army that has 3 or 4 flyers could really take advantage of that.
Yeah, right. So it benefited the list in that way. Yeah. So it wasn't so much huge forests that he could go through. It was more the allowing more, I guess, shenanigans, for want of a better way of putting it.
Like he's still like an excellent player. Like it just played into the list's strengths as well. So, but yeah, he did a really great job. I think he'd played like 1 game with it, or maybe none at all. So he just came in and under the tutelage of Keith, or the advising of Keith Conroy. Tabled us all. But I think you'll be interested to know that I played 2 games at once in round 1.
That is very surprising.
And I won them both. I actually won them both, but with the same score. So in round 2, I got paired up with myself.
Yeah. Was that your slowest game of the day?
No, actually, the last game was probably the slowest. John and I were both like, oh, we forgot to start our clocks, and then we're just like, the game was just like one of those. I don't want to be playing you. I don't want to be playing you either. And we were just like, both had played all day long. It's the first time I think playing 4 games in one day, which was actually interesting.
Oh yeah. So that was interesting. So we used to have a lot of 4 games 1 day tournaments, and Clash of Kings for here used to be 4 and 3. But over the years, we did get, particularly at a convention where it was really hot, we did get more and more feedback that it was just taking too much out of people.
Yeah.
So we made the drop to 3 and 3. It's certainly far more relaxing.
Yeah, 3 games is you can do that. It's fine. But I think it's the first time I've played more than one game in a day since the pandemic started. Like,
didn't you did the?
I did a 1-day UB tournament, I guess, in February.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't. I only played one game at King Beyond the Wall as the ringer.
Oh, right. Got it. Yeah. I was like, dude, you just played a tournament, but no,
yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. I'm like, oh, I need to work on my like mental stamina. But I did get a cobbled together version of my Rordia on the table, mostly assembled, partially painted.
Do you have a list somewhere?
I do, actually.
Did we share it last time?
The
Rordia list?
The Rordia list. I'll pull up my Google Drive. I'll send you the link and you can
send me the link and I'll share it.
Throw it up there.
Yeah.
It's definitely for 1995. It's definitely not what I was running at 2300, but it's very close. It was fun.
Yeah, Ronnie, if you come down, you can drink whatever you want, mate. We've got a whole cellar ready for you.
That goes double for here. Where is it?
Yeah, has Ronnie ever visited Canada?
No.
Or he just sticks to Southern America?
Yeah. And here we go. Just gotta.
Yeah, I've only been playing my club gaming. I had a 2500 game last week that took the ogre formation for a spin, as well as some ogre shooting. God, ogres! I've only just started listening to your meta episode, but yeah.
Oh, it's their problem.
Yeah, we already played a lot of ogres in the shed, in the gaming group, and I think the Warlock spam was already really good with the options they have, and now it's just so much better.
Well, now there's no trade-off, right? Now all the siege breakers are getting inspired, and then you're getting triple sergeants, triple warlocks, or double sergeants, double warlocks.
Yeah, I actually, I'm a little bit different in that I actually don't necessarily believe that the Wrangler is a big problem. Because I think they've got so many good other options. I take the bully every day of the week over a Wrangler.
I think that's the thing, is that there are so many. Like, you have warlocks, nom, sergeants with crossbow, bullies. They're all better or as good choices. So,
yeah. All right, let's share this list of yours. Make sure I've got nothing dodgy on my screen. Close anything work related. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty close to what I was using for Call to Arms last year. I hadn't actually played Rordia since I think May, when we had the Lords of the North team tournament.
Yep.
On UB.
There we go. So this is your list.
Yeah. So kind of a
little run us through it.
No item. I got 2 hordes of foot guard. Everyone's seen multiple pictures of those as I was painting them earlier in the year. So no items, just kept them defense 5.
There's been a little bit of chat about special rules on Fanatics recently, and then Dominable Will is right up there, isn't it?
It's really, I think I think I use it in 2 games. I don't think I use it or maybe I use it in all
Well, that's
games.
the benefit, right? I mean,
you don't have to
it's there as a backup.
And it's cheap.
And yeah, well, it's cheaper than normal inspiring.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely great, because like being able to just, shake off a waiver that gets a lucky waiver, or I think in a couple games I just popped it on turn 5 or 6 when I was like, I'm just gonna force a reroll when you charge.
Yeah. So you popped it when you were awaiting the charge.
Preemptively, yeah.
I've made the mistake of not doing that a couple of times, but you get used to it.
Yeah, I have these flocks of Raven miniatures from Zombicide that I'm going to use as my Indomitable Will counters, just to remind myself that I have it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So 2 hordes of them.
Yeah, and then 2 mounted scouts, because chaff is good and they're cheap, and they actually, My dice weren't great this weekend, but the mounted scouts did a lot of shooting damage before they died in a couple games. So they're
I love that as a unit. So versatile. It's plinking off while you're not using it as a redirector or charging it in to hold something up. Yep.
And they're melee 4, so if they can get off a hill, they're actually slightly dangerous.
Yeah, and good at corralling flyers because they're speed 9.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
a great all-rounder for 100 points. And then the raison d'etre of that list, those 2 hordes of honor guard. Been working on those recently, so I'm pretty excited about them. Just Pathfinder.
Oh, they're your wolves with the saddles, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Pathfinder and boots as standard. I really liked running them with sharpness earlier in the year, but they're at 1995. There aren't any points for that. And then because usually at 1995 I take 2 wizards on Pegasus, but I didn't have a miniature available for that, so I took 2 cannons to kind of be easy.
How'd they go?
They weren't great. Two is not enough, is what I've decided.
Unless you're just lucky.
Yeah, and I wasn't at all at any point. I had in one game I wavered a Mounted Sons unit 3 times with them, like the same one. I didn't kill it at any point. It just wavered it 3 turns in a row, which was worthwhile. Like it did actually, but they didn't kill anything all weekend. It was kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I think we're still in problem with war machines, aren't we? Often 3 feels too much as an opponent.
Yes.
But then 2 is not enough. Certainly, if you go on averages or like window of averages, it's just not worth it for the points.
Yeah, I do.
But it's hard to fix them without becoming complex as well.
Absolutely. I think at 1995, this list works a lot better without the cannons. Is what I determined. Like I ran. In Call to Arms, and then I think Steve Forster's tournament was 1995 as well, and then the Sweaty Gigante was lower points as well. And I think in all those ones, I just took an extra wizard and no cannons, and just relying on Lightning Bolt for chaff clearing, and then keeping the 2 wizards for chaff. It was much more important than having the cannons. And then Duke on Winged Airless. Usually I run him with Mead, but I had 5 extra points at the end so I upgraded him to Aegis, and that was actually hilarious all weekend. He's very hard to kill. But I do like Mead for outranging other flyers quite a bit, because the list isn't very fast. It's actually a relatively slow list. So having that 21-inch charge is actually pretty powerful. So it was good and bad. Like he's kind of just like a mobile tank as opposed to a threat. Although he did do pretty well in a couple games. Baron was loot on horse.
Yep, still got a loot caddy. Yep.
Yeah, Baron von Helen. He's just he's just such a great all-rounder. He's so efficient. For the 4th attack that they get over a hero is huge. Although
and for 85 points on a horse.
Yeah.
Great.
Although my game 3 against John, he failed to wound a Beast of Nature 3 times in three consecutive turns. So that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And then Wizard on Pegasus with Lightning Bolt. Boomstick. I haven't made up my mind if I'm gonna I didn't. This list is very tight for points, so I didn't have it. But I don't know if I'm gonna go back to putting it on, just because +2 is
I'm the same. I can't bring myself to put it in a list at the moment. Particularly maybe on an elf or something that gets the reroll. But I'm not sold either.
I'm tempted just to run 2 basic wizards on Pegasus with Lightning Bolt. Keep them cheap and cheerful. They're good at plinking, and they're good at being chaff. I think Conjurer's Staff and Banechant, and then one with Inspiring might be the way I go. But then they start getting expensive, and you feel bad about it, like throwing them away.
Well, I think the thing is like you say, yeah, over those cannons, you'd take another one of those every day of the week.
Absolutely.
It's cheaper and more versatile. It can target individuals, not just units. You know.
They're always better. So unless you can take 3 cannons, I don't like it. So, and then Battle Shrine, which
as always.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the list worked like the way I thought it would. I knew the cannons would be a bit of a trade-off, and I'd have to get lucky for them to work with only 2 of them, and I didn't, and they didn't. So
got a question here about Rordia, and I think he's talking about himself stumbling blindly to victory, not you, Alex.
Yes. Although I will say that I quite often it feels that way.
He wants to know your hot Rordia tips, and he gave an example like, would it be in deployment or?
Yeah, I think that's the easy one. Is like, if you have, for me, my no thinking deployment, which sometimes gets me in trouble and sometimes doesn't. It's like the 2 foot guard hordes with the battle stride either behind or in between, depending on what threats the opponent has, and they advance them up together towards the main objective, or at least the fulcrum of my advance. So like if I'm going to be pivoting about, because usually I work on the principle of 2/3. So I'm going to attack 2/3 of the battle and slow down the other third. So my fulcrum is usually the 2 hordes of foot guard.
Yep, supported by the shrine in some way.
Yeah, and so it could be in the middle, or I can weight it to one side if I want to keep an honor guard horde within range, and then kind of like sweep that way, and then have another one on the other honor guard horde on the other side, or do double. I often do double honor guard horde on the same flank, but I think twice. I think this weekend I did 2 on one side once, and then one on either side once.
Okay, and so if you're putting the shrine between, your decision on that, is it based on whether they have an opportunity to shoot you, or it's more that you want to shoot something unencumbered?
It's two things. Like if I think that they can actually get to it with something that can shoot it or charge it, I will put it behind stuff. And shooting is not, if people want to shoot it, they're going to shoot it. It's height 5. Like the infantry aren't going to block that. But usually, if I don't think they have a threat to get to it, I can put it on the front line, and that gives me more options for what I can shoot. Right,
like individuals or whatever.
Yeah. And then it's 3 inches closer then, so I can kind of reach behind other units if I advance 5.
Yeah. So it's more if they're going to be, rather than shooting, it's more if they're going to be able to get you with like into combat.
Yeah, because if it's in between, then that's they get something that can kill it and overrun or something.
Yeah, because the lightning's nice, but early game the rally's where the money is, isn't it? And your lightning, I guess you got to consider it more as you're popping individuals or units later.
Yeah, and often like the foot guard don't need the rally as much as the honor guard, so you have to think about where you want to put the rally, especially since it's slow. It's only speed 5. So if you're going to be shooting with it, you're not necessarily going to be able to reposition it very well.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever run it between your honor guard?
I've run
and just kept moving at 10.
Yeah. I sometimes I play very patiently with the honor guard. Like sometimes the list is all about just force feeding the enemy 2 hordes of honor guard, and sometimes it's about waiting and depending on if I have 3 cannons. And with this one, 2 cannons feels like pressure on the opponent more than it actually is pressure. So they will do stuff that they'll either hurry up or they'll play slow. So you can kind of do the positioning game with it. But
I think that's a really good point actually about the threat. I mean, I think 2 still has significant psychological value, right? So it still allows you to control the position of the game. I used to find that with the triple organ guns, like in version 2, you'd have games where they do nothing, but your opponent's always worried about them.
Yeah. Well, I had in the game I had against Varangur, they made a Mounted Suns because he took brutal over stealthy, so the Mounted Suns were prime targets, and he hid one behind blocking terrain for like 2 turns. And that gave my Duke a chance to charge them first, waver them, and then kill them. And then and then that let my honor guard do other things, and then on the other side, they were wavering things. So they didn't do much damage that game, but they slowed him down on one flank enough for me to like kind of deal with his one flank in pieces.
Yep.
But yeah, I think, and then this battle shrine, is awesome chaff mid to late game. Like if you can, it's with unit strength, so you can have it claim things and carry tokens. But I often end up throwing it in front of stuff.
Well, and people still don't want to give it a flank either, right? So they're also accounting for it because it's still got 6 attacks, which
and if you get it on a hill, that's pretty insignificant. But yeah, it's a chariot base, so that pivot and move gives you a lot of opportunity to put it in a very awkward position for your opponent.
We've got a question from, I'm not sure if Jefferson prefers Jefferson or Jay. I'm always, or Perham.
Or Jeff. We just call him Jeff.
Or Jeff. We'll call him Jeff. Or you can let us know, Jeff.
Yeah.
So
I think, yes, I would say Honor Guards still are a big draw for Rodia. They're significantly better than Beast Cavalry on pretty much every level.
I mean, even if it was just Indomitable Will, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the big one. Like that kills. Like if Beast Cav had Indomitable Will, I'd be okay with it because it's nothing in Kingdoms of Men is as good as anything else.
But
yeah, the fact that Beast Cav don't have Indomitable Will kills them for me.
I mean, I like the healing. I like the healing Cav too. In the Winged Arrowless, I like that, but obviously you can get that in Halflings now.
Yeah, but the Winged Arrowless I think is amazing. It's one of my favorite units. But the fact you're losing a point of nerve and you're losing Iron Resolve and Indomitable Will those are all very significant because you're essentially losing 2 or 3 nerve at that point because Iron Resolve will get you 1 or 2 points pretty much every game.
Yeah, and I think the other draw card is probably the Battle Shrine, right?
Yes.
There's nothing like it in other, although arguably Rift Forge has a type of shrine now, but it's different value.
Different, yeah. Like the Tangle and the Rift Forge shrine are similar, but not the Battle Shrine is singular, which is good and bad. Like it has better lightning bolt, but it doesn't have the support spells that the Tangle and the Stormcaller shrine have. But Rally 2 is very powerful.
I'd love to see more non-living legend shrine type things. I think that's cool, but it's probably be cooler in an army like Basalia or something like that.
Well, I think
do you know what I mean? Like, because it's got that religious context.
Shrine, because they have those like I think Perry Miniatures makes like a big like Italian shrine like from like the Crusades or like the religious wars, and then you have like those. I'm gonna get it wrong. I think it's Hussite, like war wagons. So there's just like it's kind of like the old Empire war wagon, but even just something like isn't like like you said like a religious thing, but just like some sort of support chariot.
Look, don't worry about pronouncing anything wrong on here, mate. No one ever says anything. So
I was gonna say Hutterite, but I'm like, I know that is wrong. I think it's Hussite. But
yeah, okay. And he draws the Perham draws the thing about it. It's a little bit weird. The whole idea, I think, was kind of giving a more of a fantasy flexible aspect to the Kingdoms of Men. So I'm not sure what they might have been worried about by not.
Well, I think they can be allied in anywhere, right? So they couldn't make them too good, but then you're like,
true.
You got to make them good enough to take. And I think they missed the mark. It's like just a little bit. If they just give them Indomitable Will, like they're not great. Like they're still.
Yeah, it's a good point because people don't ally on a guard, right? Because they're too. If you're going to ally, often you do.
They're themeless, so they can't be allied.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So these ones would be able to be allied. So I think that's the prime consideration for making them too good. But I would.
You still wouldn't do it because of their speed.
Yeah.
I think they're the best thing in the Rordia list, but as an ally, they wouldn't be the best thing in other lists.
No. Well, like Knights of the Redemption now are better. What is it? Soul Reaver Cav, I have 20
Although
attack.
they're themeless too, so you can't take them.
Yeah. But
yeah, but in most lists, I think with allies, you're either going for like the monsters or something quick, right? And the speed 7 or speed 8.
Speed 7. They're slow.
They're not fast enough. I wouldn't take them as allies. As
Yeah.
good as they are, I wouldn't take them as allies.
Yeah, and they're CS1. Like if you're gonna take allies, like I know siege breakers are popular for allies because they're CS2. They don't need Bane Chance support at any point, right?
Yep. Any other lists that would be interesting to have a look at from the event?
We
Because
can
you've
show
got
them
them all
John's
here.
list, which is very
The
similar.
McCready. Yep.
Yeah. This is the winning list. Just another nimble spam herd list. The Revenge of Conroy.
See, I feel like we don't see in version 2. I always liked Spirit Walkers. I felt like we didn't see them enough.
Yeah, they're great. Speed 7 Spirit Walkers with a wild charge aura floating around are terrifying because they are.
And the fearless is the money, right, as well.
Yeah, they have such a huge reach with that footprint, and like what speed 7 plus up to 4 inches. It's crazy. That Forest Shambler horde or regiment ruined my day because my honor guard double charged it and double wonned it on turn 2.
Ugh.
And that let his beast of nature get behind me, and that hurt a lot. Anyway, enough about me.
The beast of nature is interesting, isn't it? I actually think it's an extremely well costed unit. It's one of those ones where you look at it and you kind of go, you're actually quite expensive if I include a couple of you for unit strength 2. You can't put it into a flank on its own or anything. I think it's a really well designed unit.
It's perfect. I used to run 2 in second edition herd, and they're just I think you're right. Like if they're a bit more expensive, you think twice, and if they're any cheaper, like they're broken. But I think if you scroll down to the Avatar of the Father, that guy is bonkers.
Because I think in version 2, wasn't he north of 300 points?
Yeah, I think he was fearless though, I think, which made a big difference.
And potentially crush 3. I'm not sure.
But having him essentially a dragon on a 50 mil base is a huge deal. Like he's
an old dragon.
He's the only old dragon. Him and Julius essentially are the only 2 50 mil dragon equivalents, and he's very good.
What's that? 9? So he only loses at 1 attack compared to a dragon. He's still Def 5, Crush 2, and he gets Thunder instead of, but he's got Pathfinder, so it doesn't matter.
And very inspiring, which is actually really important in a very mobile list because everything's swarming around in all different directions, and now you have an 18-inch or 20-inch inspiring bubble.
I think it's the main, well, not the main reason. One of the reasons the beast is so good, right, is Flying Pathfinder is just awesome.
It's huge,
and particularly on a small base. So he's Money Town, isn't he?
Yeah, it's great. He's an amazing unit. I already have my STL picked out.
Oh yeah, Where's it from?
I think Epic. Epic Miniatures.
Are they on my mini factory?
They're on my mini factory. They have all their renders are orange.
Okay.
I have about 1,700 points of herd painted, so I could just add him in, and I have like 2,000 points.
Yeah. Epic Miniatures, you reckon?
I think so. I think it's Epic something. Take a look.
My computer's running real slow today. So sorry.
See if I can pull it up and send you the link.
Oh, it doesn't even look to be loading. No, that mustn't be the name of the company.
Yeah, my memory is not.
There's
right. So many different manufacturers and designers now, so it's hard to.
Epic is nuts. They have hundreds of minis each month, Perham's saying. So maybe if I just type in Epic.
Here it is. I'll send you the link. I found it.
Yeah, cool.
It's called The Forgotten God. He's amazing.
The Forgotten God. Okay. You're gonna send it in Messenger?
Yeah, just send it to you.
Okay. Share again. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I like these vibes. There's a couple of miniatures now. I can't remember the other one I've seen where the leaves, the wings are leaves, for those forces of nature and herd. Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think I really like
And
that
because
one.
he's on 2 legs to narrow, he's going to go easily on that 50. Yeah.
Oh, Paige just messaged saying he's starting his game against Jeff Traish on Dash 28 live stream. So when you're done here, everyone can go straight over to the Dash 28 YouTube channel and watch Paige play Jeff Traish.
Hopefully Jeff will do it for Australia and knock Paige down. What about yeah. Any other lists that were interesting?
Here, let me take a look. Jesse Bilbia took a Brother Mark list that was finely tuned, we'll say. Although
Order of the Abyssal Hunt. Oh, I mean, they were already the best thing in that list before.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly because the rest of the list was crap. But now, they are mint.
Yeah. So he
vicious, non-conditional vicious just makes them.
NCS1 and Fury and
so he's done the obligatory double Palace Guard.
Yeah, the double. So double Abyssal Hunt, double Palace Guard, then double Siege Artillery, and then this is why it's Order of the Assholes. You scroll down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Jesse. Well.
Yeah. Womp. Yeah, so Jesse got second place with this. He did really well. He grudged Steve MacArthur round 1. It's a really tough opponent. They had a tight draw. Then he won his second 2 games. Or second and third games.
This Siege Artillery, I would argue 2 of them is still fine because of the points.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Still feels a bit wasted, but because the cheaper, the difference with them being cheaper, and basically the only thing you lose is shattering.
Yeah, you lose. It's indirect, so you lose that 12-inch range. You can get under them.
Correct. Yep.
But you're still piercing 3, which is a big deal.
Yep. And I mean, the good things about because they're cheap is you can almost use them as dead drops for board control, right? Put them down first. Whoops. Yep. I don't want you to go there.
Exactly.
That's another thing I think that is good in because of version 3 with the spells for cleanse. You now get a little bit. I don't think you'd still ever use it. I kind of don't like it as a rule, but it's potentially going to do something now.
Yeah.
Because I think Hex will become a bit of a thing now, probably.
Agreed. Yeah, I think what is it? Trickster's Wand will be a pretty common one.
Yep.
Because then you don't have to waste it on a spellcaster.
Yeah. Did you see any of Jesse's games? What I want to know is, does this unit ever attack an individual?
You know what? Actually, I'll have to ask him. I didn't. Since the first game, obviously, I was pretty distracted because I was running between 2 games. But I'll have to double check with him. I think. Yeah. What is it? What other list did I like?
I really like the idea of it, but I feel like your opponent's ever going to make the mistake once, right?
Yes. To get it, yeah, letting them get into an individual just seems, it seems like it's a flavor rule. It's not really a. And then I think was it Ted Brown's Ratkin list? I think is kind of it's similar to the list that Cy Brand played in the QQC round 1.
Who was I looking at? Sorry, Ted Brown.
Ted Brown, yeah. I think this is one of the ways that Ratkin are going.
Yep.
With the formation and then double nightmares now that they're just straight up vicious.
So this is the formation, right? Double shredder. Yeah, okay.
And so now you have an Iron Resolve aura for tech, which covers your nightmares.
Yep.
And the nightmares are vicious in combat and shooting.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
So you're kind of like leaning into the shooting.
Yep. And that old thing of the cheap unlocks is for warriors.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love warrior regiments. They're so good. Speed 6 and good nerve.
Def 4.
Yeah.
Rather than Def 3 on a lot of that cheap stuff.
Yeah, it's a big they're amazing chaff. So I think this is kind of, to me, like this is a really solid 1995, 2000 point rat list.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, that looks nice.
He just started playing, and he played at King Beyond the Wall with a very this is what I have list, and then we've been trying to teach him the game, and Mike McCready especially, and I think this is a good way to go forward with rats for sure.
And I think 2000 and under higher drops is more powerful.
Oh yeah,
because you'll get those people that are trying to take more of an alpha build or something like that, and it just really allows you to outposition them.
And this is effectively 18 drops because the spewer and the shredders get repositioned after deployment.
Yeah.
So you drop them first.
Yep.
And then you get to redeploy them after.
Yep.
And so because a lot of lists will have 10 or 12 drops at 1995.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we've finally got Papa Rob back. Hey Rob.
Yep. How's it going, Rob?
He's muted himself so we can't hear his car. So he's just got to remember to unmute himself now if he wants to speak. Or maybe he's not going to. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I still find probably. Oh, how are we going, Rob?
I unmuted myself. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can.
Or is it still broken up?
No, we can hear.
All right. Well, I'm closer to civilization. Yeah, I'm only like an hour and 20 minutes from Memphis, and but I'm still in Arkansas. So I've been listening in the background. You did a great job tonight. Great job.
Thanks. Are you coming back from Living Legends too, or where were you coming from?
Kings of Winter in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it was a fun time. We had 20 plus players. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Is that the one? That's not a bunch of Ohio War Kings posting pictures. Is that the one that Kara and Felix were at? Or
no, that's a different one. That might be the Gem City Massacre.
Oh, okay. Yep. There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend.
It's great, dude. It's great. Did you guys play some Kings of War this weekend?
We did. I got 4 games in yesterday.
You got 4?
Yeah.
Hey, do they not have clocks?
No, they're clocks.
Okay.
No, the Ringer was playing 2 games at once.
I had to play my Ringer game and my first game at the same time, and then 2 other games. So at the one day. But
that's awesome.
And I think Steve Forster ran a one day as well. So
wow. Isn't it good to seeing so much happening, like
all over the continent?
A lot of growth in the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you guys are, super into the 2-dayers, but in Australia, 1 day is probably still where the jam is most of the time. And I love a good 1-dayer. Just being able to do that, good for family commitments. You can just say, look, I'll have the day, go in, get it done, and
you're home
pay
for
it
a
off the
dinner.
next day.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, Rob? Yep, I think we lost him again.
Yeah, I think we have an interesting idea because Ray Shields, some listeners may know, he's moved a few hours north of here, up in Ottawa, and then there's a growing scene there, and in North Bay, which is a little further north. They want to run a 2-day tournament, but he has an interesting proposal where we start day 1 at noon, so people have a chance to drive up in the morning, and then you go until early evening, like 7 or 8 o'clock, and then you start a little earlier on the Sunday, so then you can just drive home, early afternoon. So then it's a 1 night 2-day tournament as opposed to the usual get in Friday night. Because most places around here are like a couple hours away, so most people don't want to drive in 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
If we're starting at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
I mean, it's one of those things that'd be interesting to try, right? And you just see if people like it or not.
Yeah, I think it's worth it because I think we want to start spreading because the Southern Ontario scene's pretty strong now. It's growing, so we want to try to go a little further afield. And it's tough for them to, new players don't necessarily want to travel as much. So if we travel to them, show them how awesome we are, they'll come back, return the favor.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to try.
Yeah, we'll
see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, All right. Well, should we just wind up there for tonight? We haven't had much success keeping Rob on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a cameo from Jeremy.
Yeah, a little cameo.
Ticked all the boxes.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys all next time. Yeah.
Have
and
a great
until
night.
next time,
See you next
keep
week.
countercharging. See ya.